Well, I did somehow pull off the dots based Namesh query system and got the units to navigate a path. There was one problem that seemingly stood out. The units could not detect and avoid running into each other. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to explore collision avoidance. I started by cloning the code from Namesh query and removed the Namesh system completely so I could just focus on collision avoidance. Instead, to have the units move around, I hard-coded the destination positions into each unit's dynamic buffer to be the opposite side of the ground plane along their respective z-axis within a certain distance. So no difference and everything still looked the same, but much simpler with just one spawner. There are several ways to avoid dynamic obstacles, and I wanted to test two commonly used methods to see how well they fare, especially when there are a large number of units. I somehow needed a mechanism to sense other units, and I was totally on the wrong planet when I thought unrestricted ray tracing could solve the problem. It does on paper, but when we have 1000 units running at 500 plus FPS, casting rays every frame, I ended up casting 500,000 rays per second, which crashed my system. Another way is to measure the distance between a given unit and all other units on the map to figure units that needed to be avoided. Again, this is an n squared calculation problem where I have to calculate distance 1 million times every frame just for 1000 units. Fortunately, there is a way to drastically reduce these calculations by dividing the map into uniform cells corresponding to unit location. So I can just worry about other units in the same cell where any given unit belongs. We can calculate the hash key for every unit based on its location by simply dividing the x and z component by the cell size. So all units having the same hash key can be considered to lie in the same cell, making it easy to calculate the distance. To visualize this, I changed the color of unit based on their cells, and we can now see how they belong to a cell. This is a very simple hash function, and there can be hash collisions. I will place a wiki link in the description if you want to explore more on this topic. Now all that is left is to store the data in a map with a hash key as key and the corresponding unit as the value. Note that a cell is conceptual and only exists when at least one unit moves into a position which is not hashed, and ceases to exist when the unit is out of that location. Hence, there is no performance overhead as cells are not created beforehand. Now that I have a way to look at my surrounding units, I can try and avoid them. The first collision avoidance method I tried was to determine an average avoidance direction from a given unit with respect to all units in a given cell. Then sum up all the directions and divide by the distance so the deflection is inversely proportional to the distance. In other words, if the distance is too far from a unit but it belongs to the same cell, it can have a very little influence on the unit which is computing the avoidance direction. On the other hand, a closer unit will have a higher influence, so the unit can pull away sharply from nearby units. To count the number of collisions, I introduced a Boolean parameter which will be set to true when the distance between any two units is too close for comfort. This way, I can highlight those units which engaged in collision, and they will remain highlighted for a second so you can see some blips, all of which are unresolved collisions. This calculation is repeated for every unit within a given cell. The collisions are because we are not taking the units in adjacent cells into consideration. Another contributing factor is that the average avoidance vector will be so small when having a large number of units that it becomes negligible and will no longer be able to avoid obstacles. The second method is very similar, but every unit only tries to avoid the most immediate impending collision with other units. In other words, the closest unit will be avoided first, and here is the result. We can still see collisions happening due to edge case scenario, and also a collision is guaranteed if two units are of equal distance from a given unit under consideration. So I can safely say that avoiding the closest unit first produces a better collision avoidance behavior. Nonetheless, streamlined crowd behavior can be seen in both these methods, which is what happens in real life. So there you have it. Two slightly different ways to implement collision avoidance, and both are performant and multi-threaded. As long as we have reasonable number of units in any given space, both these methods give excellent collision avoidance behavior. There are two more collision avoidance algorithms that I came across called ClearPath, proposed all the way back in 2009, which seems to guarantee collision-free unit movement, and the other called Hybrid Long-Range Collision Avoidance for Crowd Simulation, proposed in 2012. It is quite interesting and slightly complicated, at least for me. I would like to explore these papers and see how they work. This is all I have for now, and thank you for watching. You can clone this code from GitHub and refactor it or carry out bug fixes. In any case, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Have fun.